Alright, app is still starting. Everything's fine, right? Did I time it correctly? Alright, there we are. Okay, so, yep, it's been forever, since I did the Pokémon X episode, and similar to the reason why I held off the Mario Kart series and now it's recording the Nintendo Switch 2 stream. Yeah, I have no reasons for this as well. So, I'm recording this using mobile device, right? This is not for good reasons. The Nintendo 3DS camera does not have the same camera. The screen does not have the best quality without the preheating, unless it's something like Nintendo 3DS, it will still have, you know, it's not going to be the best quality. So to give my viewers the best, I am admitting this is emulation. So the all Android devices practically before January 2026 were running technically from OpenGL, although they're using Vulkan as one of the main API. But the new update to Android 16, as well as the new update to the graphics engine, now allows for Androids to fully, when I say fully, I mean fully take use of the Vulkan API, alright? So there's going to be way better functionality with, just with anything that has been forced to use Vulkan. Even these older 3DS games, because these are not made on Vulkan with power management, 3DS used to be on power. Alright, it's not Vulkan. Vulkan really started around, I would say, was Vulkan open importantly? It started around the that engine. That's why there was so many glitches and all of that in there was so many glitches and stuff when people tried to emulate things like Super Smash for 3DS and stuff like that. There were like a lot of compatibility issues, a lot. Alright, so one thing you will realize if you really be one of those people who have a link to this series playlist in the video description here at the bottom of this video, one thing you'll realize though is that this little roller here was at level 7 when I finished that episode. Yeah, still bringing in some graphic shaders to see what this thing has. I use this now. Stuff like that I will have to deal with for now, making new shaders and stuff, and now recently installed this. There's a reason. So I was using something called a save state instead of natural save file. It just saves the spot, the random spot that the game is running at, and when you update the emulator after that, the save state can't work because it was made for a version of the emulator that was already bypassed. So I had to go through like, I think 8 or 10 different versions, uninstalling, reinstalling, trying the save state, uninstalling, reinstalling, trying the save state. I'm not even sure how, but I'm quite sure this is most likely because this is a different timeline, let's just say it like that, where I made sure that Pikachu didn't die that terrible death. The first, or faint, that terrible faint, the first gym. Alright, I'm not even sure how many trainers over here I did already challenge. Alright, so this right here. The trick to quickly raising the lower level Pokemon is to keep it in the top left spot in your party. Then, let's see. Then as soon as you get in a battle, quickly switch it out for a stronger Pokemon in your party. Okay. I was the biggest fan of Grace, the famous right-hand racer. She's talking about our mom in this game. Whoa. This trainer is in the game's mom. The famous right-hand racer. I even went to faraway regions to watch her races in Sherlock. You went all the way to Kanto? Cool. Seriously cool. Alright, so I guess I challenged them all. it's been so long since that episode, I'd say, like, definitely. So all these I already went, well, yeah, I went over that, because I watched it, just checking it out, over to the Victory Road, right? Correct. And I still finished the first gym, that's just what we did. And got these cool as hell roller skates, alright? These roller skates are an attachment that can snap right onto any shoes, so you can have fun and look good. Yeah. So let's see. So this is part A. I guess that's what it's pronounced. So this is the fronts of the of the Pokemon worlds that I've been killed. Alright, gonna make a way up this route here. I think I'm running the bush on purpose because I think I didn't catch there's a honey. Honey could be used to attract things like candy and stuff like that. Quite easy. Alright. So yeah, for big in this So, I guess this Pikachu is first because it's not careful with this great. So free. The reason I went so pretty hard at the starter, that water starter I picked for this game, it is the perfect nature for it, right? It's the perfect nature, and you guys want to remember it for sure. The perfect nature for its species, the trophy, and I really was a big reason I did that, and I'm happy to, just tell the viewers this is a different timeline. This is not the same file. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Alright, so what if we do? Alright. There's a special floette that it's still in the games as file. I'll see if we can get one of those for this. I'll see if we can get one out of it. Alright, it draws out the controls, the hidden part of forest, the floors of the area and is most likely part of this part. Most likely. It changes the floor to be a part of its body, that's what it is. Kinda freaking cool at the same time. It's like fairy magic, right? Alright, so let me go up this way. See if I could, there's a lot of there's an item up here, and there's this trainer here, this gardener, who's rather full of himself. Oh god, I didn't grow any berries yet. I'm gonna do that off screen for sure. In my personal playthrough, I've got like 700 and something of every berry you can grow so far, like 700 and something berries each, 800 and something, around berries I think. I'm gonna just be growing berries off recording. I'm gonna record for the first time showing, the berry grow-ups and how it works, but yeah, I'm warning you, youngster. My core for sure is some sharp pincers. I do imagine, more than likely, he does all the fighting. He's a gardener weaving. It's called weaving. Time to show off this bitch. I think I watched the most recent episode. I really do think so. And at the same time, it did not like holy shit. Holy freaking shit. So is this a repeat? If so, then well, get to see more action with Pikachu and whoever else, right? Alright, so, but the levels were exactly there and everything, so definitely notice that I played through this multiple times as well. Oh, it comes right down to size. Yeah, of course I did, of course I did. I'm the legendary trainer from a different dimension, dude. I know all the Pokemon that exist, even past these years. There's now over 1,000 Pokemon in the Pokédex. You can tell the professor that he'd freak the hell out, telling names and stuff. But he would be really like a destructive nature of a person doing that anyway. You don't mess with a timeline like that. You let him learn on his own, like, you know, don't mess with a timeline, people. It's never nice. Alright. Nothing here, I was just checking because, you know, Pokemon, this video game series love doing that, hiding items all over the place in the most interesting of spots. Alright, so back this way, and out we go from that side. As you can see here, there's already an item there, they're like teasing us into going this way as well. And it's pretty much the same thing. Right there. Try this one because I can't remember all the spots. This game is really old. I've been playing Sword. That's something that I'm going to start for YouTube as well because apparently I didn't even know you can. I thought it was that, say you have a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 system and someone bought a DLC, only that user profile could use the DLC that was bought. Actually, no, like other profiles can use the DLC, and I never knew that. So that's the one thing that like kind of held me back from like wanting to start Pokemon Sword series and stuff like that. But I'm gonna do them in order because, you know, it was this, then it was Sun and Moon, then it was Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and then it was Sword and Shield, then it was Let's Go Pikachu. Actually, Let's Go Eevee, but I'll scrap those for good reason. I don't need to be playing those actually. Those are based on Yellow, Yellow. Where, you know, you walk along with the Pikachu, the old Game Boy Color, and Pokemon Yellow. That was smartly based on the anime for that sense. Really old game. They kept putting away Yellow as so this emulator has been improved big. The actual World OS has been improved big to better handle Vulcan. And what they did with this emulator is really relying on Vulcan. You know, when these games, because 3DS is really complex system, Nintendo is not playing even since the year 2011, 2010. The Nintendo 3DS was created in 2010. That's the best year we ever had. I said this a few times across my videos. If you doubt me, go on Wikipedia, type list of movies, or just go on Google and type it list of movies released in the year 2010, and then type list of video games, especially the video games released in the year 2010. All the best titles you might have remembered, the best video game titles released in 2010. It's crazy. Alright, when the weather turns cold, lots of ladybug gather from every little cluster and keep each other warm. Giving it name called ladybug. Yeah, there was this weird toy. There was this weird toy phone back in like, you know, the early 2000s called Jitterbug. And yeah, it definitely instantly remembered that. So let's go ahead and name it Jitterbug. It reminds me of that ladybug. Makes sense checking, it does. Alright, so just reviewing my team again, because, you know, that's the most, just reviewing my team here. Alright, so I've got you here. We beat the electric, we beat the grass. So this can learn ground moves. This here can learn ground moves, right? This here. And this is going to be weak to fighting, so I have you here. Then this here is going to be weak to electric and ice. So I have this here. So I have this here. Then this is going to be weak to ground and water and I have, this one. These two also going to be to the ground, so I'm going to have to do some shifting around here. But I guess the team looks nice. The team does look nice so far. It does look nice. I could see myself making a change because, to have the flying type is weak to electric and that sort of stuff, and it has no resistance. I might actually pick up, I might have to pick up a Fletchling and replace this freaking Pidgeot. Talonflame is awesome. It really is, and it's worth it having one of those. So I'll definitely be replacing that sometime down the road. This Pidgey might not see it to the end of this series. Alright, Impish Nature. No, he raising speed. My personal go-to had a perfect nature. But still okay, I guess. I just didn't want to lose the foil and have to, I started a series and then another one I could never actually finish. That'd be crazy, man. It's like some sort of YouTube curse or something. I wasn't going to be allowing that. Then if you see like a little weird blink, or it kind of blinks right when I'm using the roller skates, that's how the actual game works. The system just resets the ground that you're on from using a 4-way grid when walking to using a 3-dimensional, all full 360 grid when using the roller skates. I battle just like I skate, non-stop. Non-stop victory is the only way for me. Okay, dude. You're challenged by roller skate rolling. And it's very interesting also, I guess I did that purposely as well. Pokémon Legends CE was kind of fresh. Still recently released when I started this series, and right before we moved it to Lumiose City, the entirety of Pokémon Legends CE on a Nintendo Switch. I'm not going to call it Nintendo Switch 2 because it just has better screen display speed and a better resolution. That's it. It's literally just Nintendo Switch 2. That game entirely so it's like I was kind of baiting people to just get Legends CE and play this game themselves. And someone just try to go wide and play a glitchy, ending game. But the thing about it is, this is a very much place that really very good place. And I'm definitely going to see it. It is going to be as lacking of glitches as you ever want from the system. So this is going to be awesome. No need to worry. Look at this. Holy shit, this is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Alright, so we started this with level 12. We've seen that battle. No Ace is level 7. Riolu's level 8. Easily leveled up. Well, we've got some crazy Pokemon there. And if we put some roller skates on it? Yeah, that would be fun. I guess that would be totally fun for Pokemon. Just put yourself in their shoes, huh? That'd be awesome. It doesn't get much better than Lumiose City for skaters. The streets are wide and the pavement is smooth. It's perfect for skating. I'd imagine it. It really is. It really is. It tells no lie, dude. And that's the only way to get around in that city. Kinda awesome. So there's this. I had this updated. Obviously, there's this glitch that happened here. Alright, I love Pokemon battles, but it'd be even better if I didn't have to stop skating. It was horrible. There was this glitch that happened when Pokemon X and Pokemon Y first launched. The name is Kalita. We're saved in certain spots in Lumiose City, and most people might not save it here. We could progress until the patch was released, which is really bad. This patch they had to release this update for the game, so things like that, the MU, I had to make sure that, this is going to be funny. And a lot of versions for this MU came out by then, so I think it's definitely stable enough. There's a word that even Nintendo likes to use, stability. And so, paralysis of Pokemon is not slower, but I think it's, you know, I'm only one level above this thing. And paralysis of Pokemon is really slower, it loses a bunch of its speed stat, but this is still a major risk right here. Alright, this is still a major risk. You're fighting against some evil AI instead of just normal CPU. You see what I mean? Possibly right now, that's a waste on this Pikachu. So the shock is a special attacking move. So sorry for you. Alright. Take that. Alright. Okay. So good. I didn't even look at the genuine Fletchling, but that Fletchling there, as a bird, that definitely have to this Pidgey for sure. I forgot, man, the minute I stopped down fires deflection. Roll for save 320 for winning. I'm going to turn that thing off. In this game, my team is going to be leveling a bit too quickly, to be honest, and it takes away from the something else I've got to check as well. It takes away from the set. So the game has switched or set. Set is like if the opposing trainer that you're fighting against is about to switch their Pokemon, the game tells you what Pokemon you're switching to, and you have a time to switch. And that's very unrealistic. In fact, it is realistic. I mean, you can hear the trainer and you just like, oh, pull your Pokemon in and switch out. But I like to keep things a bit more challenging for the, you know, for sake. And alright, so that's cool. Yeah. So I've got to go ahead then and turn this thing off. Can this, right? Yeah, so definitely turn that off. Yes, make sure it's turned off. The Pokemon are going to be like too buffed by the time they get to the other gym and stuff like that. That's for babies, man. That's for freaking babies, like literally. And this is how you really make the game a challenge. Of course, so you want you to get some level 9. Like, although you're 9, you're not even level 10 yet. So pushing him to the front of the party. Jump you. I love my Pokemon. Definitely correct. All these kind of games. Interesting. Alright, Burmese, I've seen enough Burmese in Pokemon at level Arceus. There's another game that I'm excited to do, but that game is all about Burmese, always. And there's going to be a lot of positive recording. Unless there's a game you like to stream, but I'm not going to be doing streaming just yet. For good reason, I'm not into that just yet. That's a game you like to choose to stream, where you play for hours and people just watch the game. Or that's a game that you pause the recording when you do something that's going to take a long time to say when you fill in part of the Pokemon's depths. Like in this game, all you have to do is back the Pokemon in its depths. Like the professor's work and everything else you need, right? But in Legends Arceus, since there's like way back in the olden past, before they do much of the Pokemon, they literally actually do things like using flame wheel and Pokemon times, things like that, using bite or crunch a certain amount of times, seeing it use a strong move because Pokemon had stances. They didn't just use moves and just like that. They had strong style moves that they used with power. But they'd have to like use a turn or something, get attacked from things in the middle, or they use agile style where they're moving much faster, but the move isn't going to be as strong. For say most of the time you use that, then you're just looking to get off a bunch of more turns, and actually the opposite. Yeah, so it's really complex, it's fun, but to get like I think you get like stars, like rank stars as a member of the, let's just call it the guild, don't call it something else. Then you get your debts high enough. That is always that playthrough is going to entail a lot of building the authority and that, and I'd be there for always. So I'd rather play that when I can ensure that I have time for myself for sure. You look more like you have something stronger in here. Okay, it's called Legendary Ace Training. Read it up. There's an actual something. This one there. Was that a starter? Was that a freaking starter? Right, so poison barb, sweet. This could be useful if I have a resilient here. There's something else. Okay, replace the barbie with BD at some point. Yeah, it's going to be able to defend against the... It's going to be able to defend against the grass with his part poison. It's going to be able to defend against something I did do, because then I really could also use it one month later on. I've got my reasons, right? Let's see what I find here. I should be pausing the recording for this, honestly. You see how much time I've been. Man, that's like almost 30 minutes, man. Maybe that's crazy. That is fucking crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, I want to be playing these here for like for each episode or anything like that. Ew. Alright, so I can use dust and moves and stuff, and I can try running, and then it will say couldn't get away, and then this one gets hit by the blast and the dust, and it loses a bunch of damage HP, so let's go ahead and switch to safety. Let's go ahead and switch. I don't know how to higher speed like that for good one. Yep, here it is. Here's the freaking dust. That would have done a bunch to that really. I was just tapping the lead. It's a ton shot. Survive! Oh wow. So this guy just lost a bunch of his health. No berries. Oh, no berries. So I'm going to show you what I'm referring to. We can make this episode kind of... I've got memory for it for sure. I eased like a whole 10 gigs out of my phone's as memories like last night. Alright, check it out. I just traded for cool new Pokémon. What is this? What your name is going to be? Adrian, interesting. The Magikarp. Actually, I'm not laughing. I'm not spoiled surprise they do. But give it a good trade, and yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Trust me. Ace trainer to preschool. You'll be fine. You're gonna be awesome, kid. Splash does nothing. I think in the real Pokemon world, even after they defeat, like just after the experiencing the popular game gives you a bit of experience, so you know each other for you, like he's always doing he's like, whoa, what's this? Big, massive Gyarados, right? Gyarados. People call it Gyarados, but it's Gyarados. And I think it learns Bite right away. It can learn Aqua Tail, but potentially quite early. And I hate just mashing through trainers because that thing has some defense and attack right off the bat. So I guess that's like Pokemon World's way of the series' way of teaching you that, you know, sometimes a thing is just a late bloomer, like you stare at the ugly duckling who's like laughed at and all that and insulted, and and then evolved, grew into a beautiful swarm, right? So the same thing here, kind of with Magikarp and Gyarados. Behold these glorious moves that have been honed and perfected in the garden. Cutting moves? Is this another core fish that is like so super good at like cutting flowers and trimming hedges? Cutting dead flowers and trimming hedges, is that it? So smooth. It's a here, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch over to my... Alright, pause and hold on a second, alright? Hold on a second. Alright, I've got family, of course, right? And my dad is a carpenter, so sometimes he'd be carrying up jobs, and like it's so weird. Like if I stood up at night and I had no sleep, that isn't what happened here, alright? If I stood up at night and I had no sleep, it happened all the time. I felt sometimes that he was doing it on purpose. He'd be carrying out a job the very next morning and not going to be able to do it. So now it's something like that. He's saying, oh, I don't know, some sort of emergency. And I'm recording this episode, so you know, like I was saying, this is already a few like 30-something minutes. It's kind of long already. Let's see, feet is really straight in her feet. Yeah, I don't know that. So I'm definitely gonna end this episode off right here. Alright? So my idea was to go through this entire route and just make it to Lumiose, but I guess that's part of the fucking curse. Anytime something like this happens, I take a smear off. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. It's part of YouTube curse, I guess. They don't want to get into Lumiose City. They don't want people to see that Lumiose in this game in many ways is actually kind of better than the Legend ZA that just launched on Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I'm gonna end this off here. I could continue from right here. Anyways, I could just save the game. So if you like this episode, remember to leave a like, give a comment, and click that subscribe button. YouTube needs to change that subscribe button to say follow. It needs to say follow because there are too many services online that use the word subscribe, and that word subscribe usually means that you're using a paid service. Right here on YouTube, the subscribe button is free. You're just following the channel. It's just a follow button. Alright? So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whenever you're watching. This has been Mr. Pokémon 07. Until next episode, we're going to be making it to Lumiose. These two trainers right here. I don't want to start off the, dialogue, and then my dad is like banging away in the door again. You definitely would have heard that in the freaking video. I'm so sorry about that. Alright? So, yeah. Until next episode, yeah?